So one thing that I do get quite a few questions on is casting the Lucky Craft, where if you're, using a 2 ounce, 3 ounce, or even a 5 ounce sinker, you're gonna be more lob casting. But with the Lucky Craft, this is such a light lure coming in at, just over half an ounce. You really need to load the rod and you need to snap forward. So I'm gonna show you guys how I cast that. I'm by no means professional when it comes to casting, but I just, everyone has their own style. But there are a few things that, regardless of how you throw it, that pretty much anyone that is throwing the Lucky Craft, they're all pretty much doing it, is you need to be loading the rod. So typically I like to have, maybe a good 2 feet between the rod tip and your leader to make your cast. The biggest thing is just when you swing back for your cast, you really want this thing, it's almost like a pendulum. You want it to go back and you want it to load the rod. And what that means is hitting as low as possible. On your swing back, you want that thing to go down low, hit its peak weight on the bottom, and that's what the load means. You're loading that rod up. That's why for me, I like a more of a fast action rod where the bend of the rod occurs closer to the tip of the rod, because I want this light lure to load up near the tip before I snap forward. That's probably the most important thing, is you swing back, load, and on the cast, instead of lobbing it forward with a heavier sinker, you're gonna snap forward on this thing. You're using the bottom hand as leverage and your top hand to swing forward, and you want to snap it. And you want to snap it, and as you snap, you let go of your finger and you're releasing the lure. So my advice to you guys, if you have trouble casting your Lucky Craft, definitely don't stress about it. It's just practice, but you want to be able to load that lure on the backswing and then snap forward on your cast. So I'm going to demonstrate to you guys. Hopefully the camera will be able to pick it up. And by no means do you have to cast the way I cast. It's just the way I just naturally do it. And so yeah, let me show this to you guys. So you want to come out. Some people like to have the lure closer to the rod tip. Some people want a little bit more length in the leader. This is around where I have it, just about 2 feet, 2.5 feet at the most. Open your bail, put your finger on your braid, put your hand on the lower end of your rod. This is a longer butt, so you actually get better leverage on the cast. And then I'm waiting for some waves to come by. So that furthest wave, the bigger one that's crashing right now, I'm gonna wait for that one to pass, and then when I think I can cast past it, I'm gonna cast. So go back, load, and snap. So that was actually a really bad cast, but that's the general idea. So I'll do it one more time. So we're not worried about catching a fish here. Open the bail, put your finger on your braid, put your bottom hand on the butt of the rod, come back, swing low, and snap. And that thing went probably 35 to 40 yards, which is gonna be, a solid cast. That's what you can expect with the Lucky Craft. If you're doing it right, you're gonna get about 30 yards on the cast, in my experience. Distance, I think longer the rod, you will get a little bit of distance, but between a 9 and a 10 foot, in my opinion, it's not that significant. And again, in Southern California, a lot of times you're casting really close anyways. So distance is not the most important thing to me. So just one more time, we're gonna wait for this near one to pass, back, load, and snap. So I hope you guys find that helpful. It's just those two things. Load up your lure on the backswing. Once you hit the apex of that bend, then you snap forward. And again, it's stylistically different from throwing a bait and weight setup, where if it's a heavier sinker, you're not gonna be snapping that thing forward. You're gonna tire yourself out and you'll probably break your rod. It's just practice. So you just gotta be able to put enough repetition till you understand that timing. It's actually really, really easy. It's not hard, but again, fishing is a sport. Most of us are not born being really good overnight. And again, I'm just very, very average, but it gets the job done for me. And so hope you guys find that helpful.